Yeah.
So what information I need to include in the post? Is that the same post like we put for this week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can make your version of a poster, but it's now the second annual general meeting.
Second.
And the date next week, and you could really put on whatever you want.
Okay.
Is there a topic particularly for next week?
Pets?
Well, pets.
Okay.
Wait.
Let's do something about pets then.
Wait, what's going on next week? We're doing a
See,
presentation.
we just said it.
Oh, we just
You were on the phone.
I have a friend who was developing.
In our
So you know, like potters have like potter's gauges. So when they're throwing industrial pots, they have like needles that they point position in space so they can get to the same dimensions. Someone was doing like an AR version where you're wearing goggles and you can kind of see a hologram of a pot and you kind of follow that hologram. Yeah.
There is a VR pet thing now. If you download there's a Japanese app you can play with a cat, you can feed a cat, and then there's more and more cats going into your garden.
Or like
and then now they've got a VR version, so you can technically play with
VR pets.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. I feel like VR pets, like you can't, like the fun thing about animals is you can like
Squish the
touch
face.
them. Yeah.
What did you make of last week? Did any of that make sense in here, or was it just so chaotic that it was quite good just to carry on?
That's generally what we do.
Yeah. It was kind of like, did you do this? Okay. And then like after a while, it was like a,
I thought we just fell asleep.
But you started other people doing it,
yeah,
and then there was loads of people doing it.
yeah.
I suppose that's what's quite interesting.
Yeah, it was like this.
If
like, I
someone
didn't even
starts
know what I
doing
was
stuff, then other people feel relaxed to do it.
Yeah, and a lot of people wanted to join in as
Yeah.
well. So
Yeah.
if we do more of that, that would be great. Because there was something very therapeutic about it, like not knowing what it was to begin with.
I'd have thought some of the people who did that would have come today. Why didn't they come?
Probably unit.
I know it's always a problem with unit coming first, isn't it? Understand the power of the unit.
Yeah.
Have you mentioned the horse race yet, or any of that? Or
No, we haven't had that conversation.
No.
But,
There were some things which we run through when the pet thing, it picked up on something Ava did when we had a conversation with her about mental health here and how animals, pets are useful in that. And so Ed had been thinking about the AA's tradition of pantomimes and reviews and how perhaps we could use the pantomime horse. Do you all know what pantomime horse is? Yeah?
Is it when the people...
Two men get
Yeah.
and
or ladies.
All ladies.
I mean, we tried to persuade as many units as possible to make one in the style of their unit, so
Yeah.
PVAs would be all
Square
made
horse.
squares and things like that.
Concrete white.
Black and
concrete.
white.
And then
Concrete
have a
horse.
race round like
Yeah, rabbit.
You know, like the one at Siena? They do it every year.
You don't know the horse race?
No, but that
See,
sounds
It's called a
hilarious.
palio.
Yeah, I guess.
They all have these really elaborate colours. They all have the coat of arms from the regions they come from. And that's why David was thinking quite good for units could actually have their own designs of what, you know, the...
Will the lawn horse be you two?
Could be, yeah. You will be the favourites.
Just kind of sit at the starting line and just like have a drink and like chill.
We're not sure about this cocktail thing from, but presumably if LAWuN was asked to do one, we'd
And what animal could you put in a cocktail though? Could you get worms?
I have my friend makes cocktails with grasshoppers.
Right.
They're like citrusy.
Yeah.
Because of the
What's
pheromones.
tequila, what does that have in it?
Oh,
Is it
scorpion.
a scorpion. Yeah, so it's...
There's that thumb.
Yeah.
You know that thumb whiskey. The whiskey with the thumb. No.
No.
Never mind. Never mind.
Oh my god.
Right, yeah. Thumb whiskey.
So there's-
Is it
Whiskey with a pickled thumb in it.
Japanese whiskey?
No.
I think with the horse racing thing, it could be cool, and then you could like make people design it on the day. Do you think that would be a bit too
Yeah, that never happened.
ambitious?
But I think
On
if
the
they did it
day.
on the day, they
Like,
might actually do it.
That's
You know
what
I
I'm
mean?
gonna say, because
Yeah.
like if you provide all the materials and stuff,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
will probably be like, okay, cool, let's
Just
make
do
it
But you
this.
work.
see this, but I suppose that's the argument about what LAWuN is.
I mean, that was the argument for the flower show, right?
Yeah.
Was that?
And there's
Yeah, because I feel like that's why loads of people just came and randomly was a part of it, right?
Yeah.
and I suppose I suppose it's collectively trying to do a project that's a little bit more than just turning up on the date. That'd be quite nice if it's seen through it and it's not.
But then you kind
It's
of
not
need like
like-
an agent in each unit, you know what I mean? Cause
But
it's
why?
quite
But
difficult
everybody's
to-
adults.
Yeah, I know, but you know,
That's yeah.
yeah.
You just think it's impossible.
I don't think it's impossible. I think
You've been through the whole system.
I feel
you
like
think
we'll
that's
just
impossible?
get like 1 or 2 units. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point, Kibo. Do you think people would?
I can imagine some unit to be like that.
No.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some unit would be like.
And then they just get a
Most of-
cardboard horse that sits at the starting line and doesn't move.
I know. And,
Yeah,
and if it was
exactly.
compulsory, a unit would probably just Amazon a horse costume. To be honest,
Yeah.
if you made it compulsory somehow,
Oh no, you could make it compulsory.
we could try.
Have
It
you?
would be funny if we did though.
Well, there's sort of irony in that Ava's created this party committee.
Yeah. I was
And part of our discussion with her was, well then, why? First of all, why weren't we ever discussed or contacted to talk about it? And then what was there sort of left for us to do? Because we thought, well, that's one of the things that we do is try to use play as also to learn and
Yeah.
to do things together in a way which units don't do. So you have your why the word arc was interesting to me. I wasn't sure whether the AA was an arc or whether each unit was an arc. If you look on the internet, it says about an ark, it says it's a boat or a ship held to resemble the one in which Noah and his family were preserved from the flood. So you could say, if it's a unit which is the ark, then it's preserving them from fake theory, I've put here. It's like something else to put. So the unit is a kind of protective mechanism. From this meaning comes the figurative meaning of ark as something that affords protection or safety. Again, so that's very much, I think, what some units are about. It's derived from a Latin word meaning arca, meaning chest, which is akin to the Latin verb arcare, meaning to hold off or to defend. These Latin roots gave us the use of ark to refer to the sacred chest representing to the Hebrews the presence of God amongst them. So it's obviously got quite a lot of religious sort of overtones. So I sort of rambled on because at AALAWuN, part of our remit for Adam is to try to examine the unit system in some ways, because it's always presented as being a kind of, oh, this is a radical thing. Actually, almost every school of architecture in England uses a unit system, and it's now 50 years, more than 50 years old. And of course, when it was introduced, it was fairly radical. But basically, nothing has changed. The only thing that's changed, from my view, as an older bloke, is that there's far less communication between tutors than there was. And that's partly because there are far more. And also, there's very little conversation about the AA in London, although I was glad to hear that Assemble unit are doing that. Anyway, that's another. So it is now an orthodox in UK schools of architecture. I don't know about other countries, what are its advantages and disadvantages. And so we try to investigate this not through verbal discourse, in other words, not having seminars or debates with titles like the future of architectural education. We try to examine it through doing things by getting different units, different students from different parts of the school just to actually do things. A previous director of the AA, Alvin Boyarsky, he said the theory is on the wall, and I've always been a great believer in that statement. You know, you go out, talk, have your seminars if you want, but it's actually what you do which says who you are and what you're actually thinking.